Hey guys, welcome to Wardroom Bat Rips. I'm doing a little bit of painting. I thought I would, you know, chime in while the dust has settled on today's big news, which was the Henry Cavill um, confirming that he is about to endeavour in making Warhammer on television, live action, movies, and TV series. And I just wanted to say what I thought about it. I didn't want to post straight away, even though I was giddy as anything. And yeah, there was a. I'll be honest, there was a few tears when I read his post. Having been a lifelong fan myself of about 30 years as well. Um, it's great to finally get a chance to see it televised and bore to the world so everyone can see the hobby that we spend so much time enveloped in, and to have someone of Cavill's standard being the catalyst for that is marvelous. I think to myself, you know, this is the thing we've been waiting for since we were kids. All the people my age, in our 30s, been waiting since we were at high school for Warhammer to get the worldwide renown that other things have. You know, as little nerds, been waiting for so long to have that kind of pointed out to everyone that actually the thing that we love the most is actually super cool. And until it gets that push into the limelight, like D&D did with Stranger Things and The Big Bang Theory, it never really gets there. So now to have that validation that going forwards for so many people that are in the hobby now, young ones, it'll be amazing to grow up and they'll go with the whole thing of like, well, actually they'll be the cool kids. And that is so brilliant. So I guess other than the sheer elation of being super happy about it, let's talk about what it means going forward. So maybe some people are worried that maybe Henry Cavill might not be the right guy for it. Um, as far as I know, his feelings about Warhammer are completely legit. Generally seems to be a guy who knows what he's talking about. I've watched interviews with him enough to notice that he's not doesn't seem to be, hamming it up or faking it. Um, so it's not like he's being paid a lot of money to lie about it, I don't think. Um, so I think, yeah, he's a lifelong fan. He's someone who likes the IP. He's someone who's massively well connected in Hollywood. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It can only be a good thing, in my opinion. I think he's got what it takes, and he seems to be a very determined person. If you read the stories about him on certain projects, that he very much pushes for the things to go in certain directions. And he is very forthright and very kind of like, I will not do this if you do not let me do what I want to do. Um, Big up respect to the guy. Walked away from The Witcher because of issues. Walked away from Superman and stuff like that. Hats off to him. He is a man who stands by his values, and that can only mean good things. I think he's the right guy to drive it forward. I think he's very passionate about it. I think he's very committed, and I like that. Um, a lot of people are scared as well, rightfully so. A lot of people are worried that it's Amazon. They got access to Lord of the Rings, and they didn't do the best job with it. It's not the greatest series in the world. It's a lot of style and not a lot of substance. I can understand the fears. I can understand the worries in that place. They spent £1 billion on a series, and it wasn't great. However, I will address that on the point of they didn't have access to the whole IP. They had certain parts of the Lord of the Rings intellectual property kept away from them, and they weren't allowed to use certain parts of it. So for me, means they didn't have the proper tools to go in every direction they wanted to, so it hampered them a little. Yeah, maybe they could have done a better job of what they had, possibly, but it looked phenomenal. Um, and I think they didn't have someone who was of the ilk of Mr. Cavill behind the scenes going, you need to do it this way. That's not right. That won't work. Fans won't like that because I'm a fan and I won't like that. They don't have that as a driving force. Um, Other thing about Amazon is Amazon do violent TV shows really, really well. The Boys, fantastically well done. Super good example of a high violent TV show done really, really well. And the storyline's not overshadowed by the violence. It just goes hand in hand with it, and it's a nice meld. I like The Boys. I think it's a really good show. I think it was well done. So I think Amazon's a solid home for Warhammer. And let's be fair, it's Amazon. Amazon is the company that, whether you love them or you hate them, everybody knows Amazon. I don't think there are many people on the planet that don't know Amazon. Um, you know, Also, especially in the Western world, there's a lot of brown packages with Amazon stamped all over them, getting delivered around the place. So yeah, it's the right place for it to be. It's the right place for it to get the attention it deserves and the money it needs to make it. That was always the biggest problem with 40k in the past, is no one had the money to make it into what it needed to be, which was a massive, massive project. Um, all the stories are too small to tell without a massive financial backing, and nobody was willing to take the punt on it before. But when you've got someone like Sir Henry Cavill going, "This is amazing, you need to do this," it's hard for a company to say no to them. So it's got the right guy behind it. It's got the right place, in my opinion, to drive it forward, to give it the treatment it deserves. I mean, if we go back to look at the Ultramarine movie, or not look at the Ultramarine movie, don't be wrong, I still watch that on occasion because it's still a good giggle and the voice talent in it is phenomenal. But they spent a lot of money on voice talent and not a lot of money on anything else. It was crap compared to video game standards at the time. There's a little bit with a guy running about with a power hammer in the ship later on trying to take down the demon. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically you could go. It's terrible. Wasn't done properly, and it is what it is. So it needed lots of money chucked at it, and nobody was willing because they were like, "It's a war game. How big can it be?" And nobody was willing to take that risk. So for me, somewhere like Amazon going, yes, we recognize this is massive, and we can make this work. I mean, don't be silly. They're going to get stupid rich off it, because this is going to. I feel myself, having sat and thought about it all day since Henry popped out his thing. For me, it is the start of something very, very poignant in this hobby. I think we'll see a lot more people take up the hobby. I think we'll see an influx of new bloods, an influx of many different types of player, not just hardened old veterans who, like myself, who, not necessarily. I'm quite open and honest. I teach a Saturday class, which is mostly young people who want to learn. I run a Thursday night club that is mostly, again, young people who want to learn how to play the hobby. And we get all sorts at our club. And it takes all sorts to have a vast worldwide Warhammer wargaming community. Um, so, but I think this will diversify it even more. It'll become even more inclusive. Um, and, we will see everybody from all around the world getting involved with this. So I think you'll probably see more like sales. You'll see more, war game clubs popping up. Probably, it could be the start of something very, very beautiful. From going back a couple of years back to people being worried that it was going to die out and the hobby wasn't going to do well, to Amazon making movies and TV shows. I guess the other concerns I've heard today as well is people are worried that they might pick the wrong thing. They might pick the wrong era. They might pick the wrong series. I'll be honest. I massively, massively will be disappointed and sad if they don't do Eisenhorn, because I want to see Eisenhorn on the big screen. But that's just from a personal preference because it's my favorite set of stories. And not just in the 40k universe, it's my favorite set of stories in general. I love that sort of story. I love the character. I love the character arcs. I love everything about it. It is absolutely phenomenal. And if I don't see it on the big screen, I'll be really sad. But I can understand maybe they're not wanting to go with it because it's such a big thing and people might complain about it more. Maybe they want to make their own stories. Maybe they want to try and kind of like test the waters with some stuff first. Maybe. Who knows? But in that aspect, I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can do the wrong thing when it comes to Warhammer. I mean, yes, you can mess it up. Don't get me wrong, you can mess it up. But what I mean is, if you pick a point of it or a place to start, I don't think you can pick a bad place. Really, I don't. I think if it's going to be big and it's going to have lots of money chucked at it and it's going to look big, shiny, and it's going to have lots and lots of gore and violence and fun stuff happening on screen, can you really pick the wrong place to start? And I think 40k is one of those things where you actually probably would struggle to pick a bad place to start. Even if they pick one of the weaker stories, it being on screen and having like someone have a look at the story and sure at parts where it was weak, it probably wouldn't make much of a difference. It might make it would make it better on screen, I think. So I think for me, I don't think it's a bad place to start. And I guess, I mean, there are people out there who are not excited. I think there's probably people out there who are like, I don't really want to see my stuff televised. I don't really want to see 40k in the limelight, and I respect your opinions. You're entitled to them. But I think it's time. I think we're at that stage now where we need something like this. We're at the stage where we need a massive influx of people to keep the hobby going, and that's where we're at, and we're about to get that. We're about to get the thing that we've wanted for so long: an influx of new bloods, an influx of new ideas. You're gonna have people from all around the world joining forums talking about this. It might be the thing the hobby needs the most. It might improve the gameplay because it's more accessible. It might improve the prices if it's selling more. You never know. I mean, it might make it worse because it might want to sell more money, make more money. But you never know. They might be making so much money that they don't know what to do with it, and they'll lower the prices. Who knows? It might be brilliant. I mean, I guess, am I a realist? I'm a realist. So, is there a chance it flops and falls on its face? With any project, there's always a chance that it flops and falls on its face because this is the real world, and the real world things happen. Directors don't do the right thing, people don't say the right thing, and it just goes. Bleh. Sure, that happens. However, what I think is that we have to take the gamble on it. So those people out there who are like, I don't really want to see my hobby. I don't want new people in the hobby. I don't want anybody joining the hobby who's not already into Warhammer. I don't want these like people coming who are only here because of the movies, or people who are here because of the TV shows. I don't want them in my hobby. And to people like that, I say, buck up, because tough. It's life. Move with the times or you get fossilized. That's how that works. stop being so pent up and aggressive about it and just go forward and accept that people like stuff because they see it on TV. It's how it happens. It's how many people are playing D&D now. We at the club we get maybe like between 8 and 15 people playing D&D who 5 years ago never even heard of D&D. So, is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And having more people in the hobby means more people to play with, means more diverse social groups, means more understanding, it means betterment of everybody at once. And how is that a bad thing? That's a good thing. But back to the original point, because I'm sidetracking there. It's really, really, really exciting, isn't it? Henry Cavill making an Amazon TV show, or shows, or movies, or something to do with our IP anyway. Um, but I think it was really cool how he worded it. I think the whole like, I'll do it. I'll do it justice. It's the IP that we love. It's not the IP he loves. It's the IP we love, and I think that was telling of what type of person he is and what sort of care and attention he'll bring to this. And I think that's amazing. I think for all of us, this is a sort of like the kind of precipice of something super in, insanely cool that will lead to something really special. And I think we all have to embrace it, enjoy it, and just, love it. But anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. So take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.